My name is Desiree Lewis. I work in the Women's and Gender Studies Department at the University of the Western Cape. I've been involved in the Center of Excellence on Food Security for the last 3 years, probably 4 because I started working on a project proposal which was aimed at bringing in humanities approaches to food. One of the key interventions was to think about some of the things that we take so for granted when we talk about food. So in the global south, in South Africa, generally in the global south, the assumption is that food security is some neatly containable thing. You deal with it, the experts know how to deal with it, they solve it through very set procedures, whether it's food safety or producing more food and so on. And I suppose the overriding aim of humanities approaches is to open up all these questions, all sorts of questions around these assumptions. For example, why food security? Where does that idea come from? Some of the students who work in the Humanities project have looked at the history, the origins of that term, and shown how it actually originates in a certain way of managing the poor, managing poverty. So these are the kinds of critical questions that humanities approaches offer. I find it more useful to think about humanities approaches to food rather than humanities and food security, because food security or food insecurity are themselves laden terms. Another area that I think humanities contributes a great deal to is to think about how prominently food features in all facets of our lives. It's not simply about survival, it's not simply about the body, the physical body. It's part of our spiritual well-being, our sense of self, our health in a holistic way. It's integrated into rituals that we live by. It's part and parcel of all facets of our life. So if we think, for example, about the way that food is currently in the mass media, is glorified and magnified and turned into something that you aspire to in terms of image and lifestyle, one realizes that food has become a central symbol. Some people have spoken about it in terms of gastro-porn, the idea of food just being this thing that under commodity capitalism is taken on a whole different meaning. And by thinking about how food is now featured, for example, in the mass media, one can also explore so many aspects of our lives.